Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience? Or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, good evening to everyone across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled throwback and guaranteed, always exciting edition of the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in a secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that again is so secret that only two people know where I am. That's Diego, my producer, and also my regular guest on the Friday evening Fireside Chat, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. Now, we had a scare at the bunker this week. Oh, yes. So all of a sudden, power went out in half of the bunker. And we thought that Reverend Robert Brzezinski, our chief inspirational officer, he cut the power. But we were able to call the crews out. We were able to not compromise the location of the super secret concrete bunker. Oh, like always, we have a wonderful show for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments below on Facebook. And also, for all my shy people out there, please feel free to interact by contacting me by email. That's at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. So the purpose of our weekly get-together is to talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And again, like I keep saying week after week, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on in the news, and also to not be afraid of the news, because again, they're just effects. But what is going on underneath is absolutely wonderful. We're seeing globally a shift in consciousness. So That's what we're talking about this evening. Tonight's guest is no stranger to our Friday evening fireside chat to speak on topics like my large holiday bonus, which I knew she was going to shop tonight because I have access to her schedule since I'm her producer. So I knew that she was going to shop for me this evening. So I said, okay, she can be on my show and then take a whole 15 minutes to complete her shopping. Huh. Well, we'll talk to Dr. Manning about that in a few moments. If you have not checked out Charlette's show on Sunday evenings, please do so. That is a Sunday evening masterclass, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. We had a great show last week, and so we will have Charlette tell us more about the show this coming week, part 2 of Sacred Relationships, and we even have on a relationship expert. Wait till I read the article that I found this week to Dr. Manning and also to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil Good, who is our relationship expert. So what we're covering this evening, this is from CNN. Cases of the Omicron variant are rising quickly around the world, and the strain is on course to become dominant in a number of countries. The European Union announced that it ordered over 180 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, adapted to protect against the Omicron variant. Now, what's nice about this mRNA way of vaccination is that it took them a whole 2 to 3 weeks after discovering the COVID-19, that it took them 2 to 3 weeks again to go ahead and to come up with a vaccine. It just took them a while to get it rolled out and also tested. In other news, experts in the U.S. say that Americans must prepare for difficult times ahead, despite there being more tools such as vaccines available than during last winter's surge. And unfortunately, the death count, including my mother, who passed away about this time last year, and also we're remembering my good friend Jean Scott, who made her transition a couple of weeks ago from COVID. Total death count, 8,000. 800,000, 801,243. 801,243. The reason I want to read this next story is because it affects me around here. But again, that it's not only this around here is a microcosm of the Midwest. So it says here, Ohio governor orders National Guard into hospitals following staffing shortages. From CNN again, in the wake of the COVID-19 upticks, the Ohio governor deployed more than 1,000 members of the state's National Guard to hospitals to help alleviate staffing issues plaguing Ohio hospitals, many of them which have paused the elective surgeries. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says that the National Guard should begin arriving in hospitals on Monday. The governor said that the Cleveland, Canton, Akron, and Worcester areas were the primary recipients of the National Guard personnel, given the high numbers of confirmed COVID-19 cases that these cities are currently seeing. I live in Akron. Given the stress that's placed upon hospital staff, DeWine noted that almost all the hospitals in Zone 1, the northern part right across the northern part of the state, have all stopped elective surgeries. He also added that some of the hospitals in the state's middle tier have already paused elective surgeries, and the others in the area will be following suit in the near future. And as for the state's southern tier, Hospitals are currently making plans to halt elective surgeries as necessary. Meanwhile, 945,000 Ohioans received their booster shots in November and 514 in the first 2 weeks of December. So that brings the total numbers of Ohioans boosted in the last 6 weeks to around 1.5 million. Now, the next story is about the holiday season that we're in. It says, is it worth gathering for the holidays if not everyone is vaccinated? And again, go on CNN. They have a great article. I'm not going to read all of it. But it begins, it says, even in pre-pandemic times, holiday gatherings with loved ones could be a careful dance of dodging landmines on the way to wonderful memories. This year, we are adding potentially explosive conversations around vaccination status. Around 61% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated against COVID-19, according to the U.S. CDC. The Delta variant is still dominant around the world, and now the Omicron variant is causing concern as well. As experts seek to understand more of its quick spread and the severity of its effects, the variant has spurred government meetings and travel restrictions. I really like what CNN medical analyst Dr. Lena Wynn said. She says, think about your vaccine as a very good raincoat. If you're going out into a drizzle, you're probably going to get wet. You're probably going to get well protected and not get wet. But if you're going into a thunderstorm and there's a high chance of you getting wet, despite that very good raincoat. Now, the emergence of Omicron does not mean it is time to change your holiday plans, Wen says, but it's still important to consider safety with the virus spreading. And again, please read the article. It's really good. But it says, if you're hosting the event, you have more of a right to dictate the conditions of the environment. Again, I know that friends have checked for vaccination status before inviting people over. And they've had to very nicely tell people if they're not vaccinated that they're not welcome over. What they're saying is the safest thing to do, that Dr. Wen says, is that the safest thing to do is to be outdoors. The reason being is that there's much more air circulation there. And again, as we move into winter here, especially here in Northeast Ohio, not every part of the country can comfortably accommodate an outdoor dinner. And again, in those cases, people can make an indoor gathering as safe as possible by asking attendees to reduce the risk of infection by as much as possible 3 days before, meaning limiting trips to public places, masking when they have to be outside, and avoiding socializing with others indoors, and then taking a rapid test the morning of the holidays. Dr. Wen concluded by saying, understand that risks do exist, especially if there are unvaccinated individuals in an area of the country with high coronavirus transmission, she added. Okay. So the reason I keep talking about this is because that this is important here. It's still with us. It hasn't gone away. And our New Thought teaching does not deny the condition, but stresses that we continue our prayer work until we get results. So continue to pray with me and see the health and life of everyone. And I'm not going to say their name, but someone who sings in our centers. She was just released from the hospital, and her husband is still in ICU from COVID-19. And we're running out of hospital beds here in Northeastern Ohio. The morgue is getting so filled that Local hospitals are having to get refrigeration trucks. Again, we need to take this seriously here. I'm not saying be afraid. I'm just saying, again, we need to just be on guard. And again, all those common sense hygiene practices, like washing your hands and making sure that there's air flowing in the room, again, is very important. Divine guidance, I believe, will guide and direct you on whether or not to have a family gathering or whether or not to go to a family gathering. My one broadcast friend and the voice of the Fireside Chat, Jay Silvers, he's a nice man who does the intro, outro, and also my disclaimer. For the broadcasting company that he works for, they had a online party with them getting like $200 in free food. How about that? Again, when going to a holiday service, it's okay to wear a mask, even if other people aren't. And again, this year, maybe it's a good year just to stay home. Many centers, many churches are having their services online. I ask you to ask this question. What would love do in this situation? What would love do? What is the example, and I'll say it from the Christian tradition, what would Jesus say? Love one another. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Again, for all of those trying to get religious exemption, what about those scriptures? Oh, they're tossed out the window. I understand that. You're cherry picking scripture. Again, my personal urging is this. Please go get vaccinated unless your doctor has told you specifically not to. Again, any type of hesitancy is not based in fact, it's based in fear. All of it. I have not seen one credible shred of evidence that says that you will be permanently harmed if getting the vaccine. I see a lot of benefits, though, for getting the vaccine. And again, we honor the divinity in everyone by staying healthy and doing what we can to bring this pandemic and its effects to an end. Well, hi there. Welcome. If you wondered what you stumbled onto, this is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network in just a few moments to discuss my large, and I mean large, holiday bonus for producing her show on Sunday evenings, the Sunday Evening Masterclass at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. It is the very lovely and talented, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning will be joining us from this evening, an undisclosed location. She didn't even tell me where it was at. Okay. Well, if I can do it, then anyone can, right? All right. In other news this evening, ex-police officer Kim Potter weeps. She says she's sorry as she recalls fatally shooting Dante Wright. Again, we're taking a closer examination of this, and we're watching this on a weekly basis. It says former police officer Kim Potter, who said she mistook her firearm for a taser when she fatally shot Dante Wright during a traffic stop near Minneapolis, broke down on the stand, apologizing, insisting she did not want to hurt anyone. I was very distraught. I just shot somebody. I'm sorry it happened. Potter cried as a prosecutor asked her about her behavior moments after the fatal shooting. I am so sorry, she said. Asked whether or not she knew that deadly force was unreasonable and unwarranted, Potter cried, I did not want to hurt anyone. Her own words are now she took the stand this week. Her own words are the centerpiece of her defense against first and second degree manslaughter charges in the incident, which did set off days of unrest in the city of Brooklyn Center after a summer of coast-to-coast protest over how the police treat people of color. Now listen to these questions. It says, under cross-examination by the prosecutor, Potter said that Wright had not threatened the officers. Here are some of the questions. He said, you never saw a gun. No, Potter said. He never threw a punch, right? No. He never kicked anyone. No. He never said, I'm going to kill you. No. He never said, I'm going to shoot you. No. He never said, there's a gun in the car and I'm coming after you. No. Potter testified that she has been trained on tasers since 2002. The prosecutor showed photos of Potter's yellow and black taser and also black firearms side by side. Elridge asked about the differences in drawing a gun and a taser from opposite sides of a gun belt. How does that gun come out of the holster? It would rock forward. And how do you pull out with your hand out of the holster? It would rock forward and then you would pull it out. And the taser, on the other hand, you would press the button, rock it backwards, and pull it out, correct? She said yes. And again, this questioning goes on. Potter testified this. She said her taser was a newer model. And minutes before recounting the shooting, Potter testified she had received a new taser model days before the shooting. Potter was issued a new taser on March 26th, she said. She shot Wright on April the 11th, and she told the jurors that she had never deployed the device while on duty. Do mistakes happen? Yes, they happen. And have there been too many mistakes with the victims being people of color? Well, of course. Do I have compassion for the police? Absolutely. And that's why I've been saying, don't defund them, retrain them. This officer got a new weapon and wasn't adequately trained on it. It had a new handle that was a lot like her gun handle. I've been saying over and over again that more training is needed. We need to retrain our police officers. Could there have been a split second that could have saved Dante's Rice's life? I understand that there's excitement in the moment. There's adrenaline pumping through the body. And the taking of life on a traffic stop needs to end. The officers were not threatened or fired upon. And again, we have to understand that both families are affected. Kim Potter's family and also the Wright family. So we continue to hold both families in prayer. One more article here, and we'll talk more about this with the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. And I got hint of this last night. People started to text me and also to put things in my Facebook Messenger. Parents, schools, law enforcement react to National Shoot Up Your School Day. Schools nationwide were on higher alert than usual after an alarming TikTok trend titled National Shoot Up Your School Day was circulated on the Videos app on December 17th. Now, I was texting back and forth with our Chief Inspirational Officer, the Reverend Robert Brzezinski, And he told me that in his research that he was not able to find a credible source on it, that it was spread first on right-wing or right-leaning media. Again, I got these off of regular websites. But still, the unnerving trend began circulating in recent weeks, posing a challenge for students to commit acts of violence in school. And naturally, parents, students, and school staffers and law enforcement are concerned about any potential threat to students and staff safety, though the trend does not name a specific district, school, or location. Now, fortunately today, again, I searched a couple of news sites. I did not see an uptick in any type of school shootings. But the whole idea is this. We need to teach our babies, our children under 18, that shooting someone with a gun has permanent consequences for everyone. And again, I just mentioned this in the Dante Wright shooting. It has consequences for Kim Potter's family. It has consequences for the Wright family. So it doesn't just harm the victims. It affects the whole community and the sense of safety within the community. And again, we as New Thought churches can help. How? We can hold community seminars on anger management. We can hold seminars on conflict de-escalation. We can hold seminars on emotional intelligence. There's a lot of things that we can do as the New Thought community to really to start stemming this. All right? 8:27. Diego, I'm sorry I went a little long. Well, yours truly is parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, please go to summitcsl.org. There, you will find information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. This Sunday, though, we're going to take a day off because our wonderful spiritual director, Diana Mangus, she's works for a retail company on their customer service lines, and they have been swamped. So she's working this Sunday during our service time, and I will be down at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living in Columbus, Ohio. So if you'd like to get your service on, please go ahead and call. And I'll be speaking for the Columbus Center on the light of Christmas, which could be titled The Truth About Christmas. So join us this Sunday. Join me this Sunday at Columbus CSL. My first in live talk here in well over a year and a half. So again, there's so much going on here at the New Thought Media Network. We have programs coming on weekly. So go to our website, ntmedia.org. There you will find out all the great programming that we have. Our Saturday and Sunday lineups are really, really good. Our Sunday lineup, man, you get your cup of coffee and enjoy services from around the nation, including at 5 o'clock, our own Gina has her wonderful service from Boston, from the Boston CSL. And so, again, that's right before the Sunday evening masterclass here on the New Thought Media Network. But again, we're asking for your loving help and donations. When you give here, you partner with us to take this powerful message to the whole world. So again, that double blessing happens. You get the joy of giving, and also you get the knowledge that your gift affects people around the globe. not only here in the United States, but also in Canada. Hi, Wayne. South America, Mexico. We're starting up our Spanish programming here on Saturdays. Again, it's amazing all the things that we are doing here, and you get to help us. You get to partner with us to take this message to the world. So please go on ntmedia.org/donate and please give. All right. All right. We will be back in just one moment with the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. You are watching the Friday evening fireside chat here on the New Thought Media Network.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And thank you, Jay Silvers. Isn't that nice? He did that for me for free.
Wow.
But he told me that I owe him lunch over in the Pittsburgh area next week. It is my honor to present all the way from a secret location, which I cannot tell you where it's at because she did not tell me. My good friend, author, lecturer, and she's going to be speaking this Sunday at the Unity of Washington, D.C. It is my good friend, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. Hello there.
Hello. How are you? I told you
Good.
I'm the designated survivor. Therefore, I am in that secret bunker location where I cannot share with anyone where I am. Because if anything goes down, I'm going to be the one. I told you all I need is about 48 hours and I get all this stuff fixed up.
Okay, designated survivor in case the president and also the vice president, if there's something that happens to them, then you're in charge.
Yes. And I got 48 hours to get it fixed.
Oh, I bet you. Oh, I tell you what, I bet you there'd be a lot of fixing in 48 hours. You already have your list, don't you?
I'm old school. You know, I came along during a time when you got a trip to the woodshed. You know, when you start acting a fool, you know, I'm just listening to you and I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, wow, you know, at this stage in this age in my life, I realize how precious life is and how much we take life for granted right now. I mean, there's just, you know, you stopping, a kid ends up dead from a traffic stop. Now, you know, I'm a mother, okay? I'm a woman, I'm a mother, and I get it. And I honestly and truthfully, and I'm not, this is one time I honestly want to say that I don't believe that woman intended to do what happened. But we go from 0 to 100
Right.
so quickly now that we don't even consider, I think, as you said in your piece, we don't even consider the consequences of what we're about to do. It's a traffic stop. This
Yes.
child, if this child weighed 120 pounds, soaking wet, you had two police officers. It could have been de-escalated, in my opinion.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
having said that, as a mother, again, I cannot imagine being on the phone with my child as a police officer is about to shoot him. And to listen to these. So you're listening to two mothers coming from a different paradigm or a different perspective. One is saying, it's not worth you taking my child's life over a expired tag, or this one saying that it's his life or his partner's life. Who made us judge, jury, and executioner on the street? I think we've become desensitized in many, many ways, that we don't look at and value human life and really acknowledge, Michael, our training teaches us, that we are to expand and grow and uplift in consciousness the masses of all those things, and that we have been bombarded and inundated and overwhelmed with such negativity. We talked about that last Sunday. The energy of this planet is reflecting the nature of its inhabitants.
Right.
The weather is being affected by it. Our consciousness is being affected by it. And my heart goes out to this police officer and this mother.
Yes.
Because this woman, this police officer, will never have a restful, peaceful moment in her life for the rest of her life. Doesn't matter if she's convicted. Doesn't matter if she goes to jail or not. She has to live with herself. And that can be a much bigger torment than even going to prison.
Well, hi there. Welcome. You're watching the Friday Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Here we have my good friend, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning, the second Vice President of the Washington, D.C. chapter of the NAACP. And again, the views and opinions expressed are Dr. Manning's alone and does not reflect anybody else, including my own.
That's right.
So anyhow, how about the article today about the National Shoot Up Your School Day? I don't understand.
This is Jim Jones stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what I mean? This is Jim Jones in Guyana pouring the Kool-Aid, saying everybody line up, because it's just gotten ridiculous. You got to take this crap seriously, because the one time that you think it might not be would be the one time that you end up with a kid killing 4 people as he did in Michigan. It's just ridiculous to me. I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead, honey.
I was going to say again, I was thinking about that today about the young man up in Michigan. Man, the ball was dropped time after time after time. Why wasn't that young man's backpack? Again, they did not have lockers because of COVID. Why wasn't that young man's backpack searched after looking for ammo online,
Mm-hmm.
having disturbing behavior that had the parents come up not once,
Yeah.
but twice.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. If my mom and dad, God rest their souls,
Mm-hmm.
if my mom or dad had to rescue me out of the principal's office,
Oh,
I wouldn't have sat down for at least a week.
I'm telling you.
And it's just, and I mean, I did not grow up with guns in the house. I mean, my dad had a rifle that I think belonged to his uncle that was in the closet, unarmed. But again, it was just a one-shot rifle.
Mm-hmm.
He never got that thing out. So the whole idea that our kids need to understand that when you pull a gun out and you have the intent to use it, what's going to happen is not good.
Nope.
It's going to affect your life, but it's also going to affect everyone else's life around you. I mean, I feel so sad for the families, especially up in Michigan.
Yeah.
Here they're having to spend the holidays without their loved ones because one kid,
Mm-hmm.
one child, 15 years old,
Undisciplined. Undisciplined.
Right.
Okay, don't forget about that.
Okay.
You and I were raised with discipline. My mother, grandmother didn't even have to speak. You got the look.
The look, that's right.
And you were gonna have hell to pay when you got home.
That's
if
right.
you got that look. Now, I have said over and over again, we didn't have no rights. You didn't pay no bills. You didn't pay, you didn't buy no food. You didn't have any rights in our house. There were no closed doors in our house. There was no privacy. Can I have my privacy? None of that crap went on in our house. We had no rights. These children now, I'll never forget when my son was in the 9th grade. He gave me some back talk and I smacked him in his mouth.
Uh-oh.
And he told me he was calling 911 and he picked up the phone to dial 911, actually dialed 911 and then hung up. And I told him, I said, okay. I said, you go ahead and you dial because I'm going to beat your ass until the police get here. Excuse me. That's the way I said it. Because I'm just saying that I've evolved tremendously since then. However, now you can call 911 even to this day. You can call 911. If you hang up, they call you back.
Right.
Now, mind you, I was on the first Black elected official on the Farmington, Connecticut school board when this occurred.
Okay.
The police came to my house and came in my house and asked my son, well, what's going on? And he said, oh, nothing. My mom and I. And he said, do you know how hard your mother works for you? Do you know what your mother does? And this was a time when you could have a collaboration. Yes. Right now, first of all, I would never, I have to honestly tell you, and I've thought about this a lot. I would never call the police on my son. I don't care how bad it got. Because I just don't know. I would be afraid that it would escalate into something violent. And I think that most Black women think that way right now. They would, because think about the person who is responsible for who made that call on George Floyd, that guy from that 7-Eleven kind of store. Mm-hmm. Was it worth it? Who was the person that called the police on Eric Gardner or Tamar Rice? Who did that? They have to live with themselves after that. But I submit, I continue to say over and over and over again, We have to learn how to raise our children. And I told you, it's unfortunate that we have to give our Black boys in particular the talk, but we want them to come home. And unfortunately, this young man did not follow the talk protocol, and he ended up being shot and killed.
Explain
and
to
that's me.
right. So explain to our audience, what is the talk?
Well, the talk is you tell your children, no matter what, if a police officer pulls you over, you are to, before the police officer gets to your car, you are to remove your wallet from your pocket and put it on your dashboard. Your hands are to be at 10 and 2, where the police officer can see them. You are to make no sudden moves. You are not to raise your voice. You are not even to defend yourself in the context that you would consider, the officer would consider you're being combative. You, yes, sir, no, ma'am, or whatever the case may be. No matter how humiliating that may be to you, or how you may be, they may be profiling you or anything like that. The bottom line is, I want my son to come home. His dad wants him to come home. And I'm telling you, my children are 45 and 42 years old right now, and Black men, and I still worry about them when they are out at night.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's what happens in our world. I don't know of any white mother, friends of mine, that have ever had to talk to their children or to give their sons that talk. I tell my boys, you can't wear a hoodie at night. Do not cover your head at night. Do not turn your baseball cap sideways or backwards. Look presentable, because that's the world we live in.
And again, the reason I had Dr. Charlette explain the talk is because, again, families of a lighter skin tone don't have to have that talk with their kids.
Yeah.
They don't have to have that talk with their young men or their young women.
Yeah.
So don't tell me. Yeah. So don't tell me that we're not privileged. Don't tell me that when people are getting, again, pulled over driving while Black. We've had that happen all the time around here. And I mean, we've had judges.
Oh, Eric Holder got pulled over in Georgetown. I mean, he was running across the street and he got pulled jaywalking.
Yes.
The Attorney General of the United States. It's crazy.
And again, it doesn't make any sense. And I was thinking of an attorney friend around here who's just happens to be African American. Again, you know, you have two people with the same education going down the street at the same speed.
Yep.
And again, they've done survey after survey, study after study. Even today, that what happens is it's more than likely that the person who is African American is going to get pulled over.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't tell me that stuff.
Look at the folks in, I think it was in California, that were attempting to sell their house.
Oh,
and
yes.
They made an offer. The house was valued at $1.4 million. They made an offer for $985,000. They appraised it. They took everything out of the house that represented anything Black art, Black sculpture, Black, any of that. They had a white friend of theirs come in and pretend that the house was there to get an appraisal on the house. It appraised for $1.425 million, $500,000 more. Now, you tell me.
Again, that It's and again, the reason that Charlette and I we point this out is because these are not isolated incidences. This happens all the time. And especially, again, people of color get higher interest rates.
Yep.
They have to pay more, not only for homes, but also for cars.
Yeah. Income
on an average of at least $1,000.
Your interest rate.
The interest rate, yes. There's still segregation.
Yeah.
In some parts of town. Again, that more likely, again, if you are a black family moving in, that what's going to happen is that the price may go up. So again, you guys are talking negative. No, what we are doing is saying, listen, enough is enough here. We all need to start speaking up and speaking out about this and saying that this kind and line of thought is not acceptable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That this is just not acceptable. Go ahead.
This has stopped a lot because there were times when you could justify, again, we look at George Floyd, how long they would have felt that they could get away with doing what had it not been for that video. Look at Ahmaud Arbery. 2 months it took, but this case was all but closed had that video not come out. So, as my grandmother used to say, what's done in the dark will always come to light.
Yes.
There is change in the atmosphere. Things are changing. Unfortunately, the surrender to this privilege is not going to come lightly. And the resistance is going to continue. However, Jean-Luc Picard said it best. He said, resistance is futile. You can fight it for as long as you want, but you know what? God is going to have God's way. Now, I don't know if you and I, Michael, will live to see it, but you are my brother. And you know that, and I am your sister. We are the Regis and Kelly of New Thought Media Network. And we say it loud and we say it proud. And and I firmly believe where two or more are gathered in the consciousness of love, love will win out. Love will find its way throughout it all. Peace will come over this planet. There may not be but two people left on it. But if it's you and me and Lady Diana, of course,
yes,
love will be the answer. So we just got to keep loving each other and seeing the light of God in each other and trusting that there's a power and a presence greater than us. So we end it all on a positive note, knowing that God always sees the light in us, not our darkness. God didn't create none of this. Okay. This is organized and orchestrated by negative forces. But we all know that love is like a light, a candle, or a match in the darkness. That little spark from a match will cast out that darkness. So I say, get behind me, Satan. Go back from whence you came, cast you into the everlasting fire of hell and damnation.
Hallelujah. If you're wondering what you're watching, hi there. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus joined this evening by author, lecturer, and extremely nice person, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. And she didn't even pay me for that. Okay. So
wait, one more thing first. One more thing first. Diego just made a correction. He's absolutely right. Jean-Luc Picard did not say resistance is futile. The Borg said that. You're right. But you see, Jean-Luc got out of there too, didn't he?
That's right.
Okay, my bad. Right. Now, the second last thing I got to tell you.
he's in the background going that way. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You stopped me from going shopping today. Okay. I had 3 hours to shop for you for your, and so as I had to stop at the electronics store in the middle of my shopping cycle, now I don't know from the secure bunker location if in fact that new equipment is going to
Yeah.
get to you in time. However,
Oh, okay. And
its way. It's on its way.
it's on its way. Okay. Just that's good. Now, yeah, I had my friend today. Uh, he was telling me on the phone, amateur radio operator, he's saying, "Oh yeah, I went over and I got this really nice radio." And he said, "Well, Santa got it for me." I said, "I don't believe one word you said." I said, Santa didn't spend that kind of money on you." All right, so tell me about what we are going to do this weekend on the
Ooh.
Sunday evening masterclass. Who is going to be our special
So
guest?
we're going to have Dr. Feelgood 2. I want Dr. Feelgood 2.0 is going to join us Sunday night. You as well as me on Sunday evening masterclass with Dr. Charlette, and he is going to expand on sacred relationships. So we're going to talk about, how we can navigate through this holiday, the protocols, the ins and outs, the ups and downs of taking folks home to meet your family you don't
Oh,
even like, and
oh
you're
no.
gonna take somebody else home to meet people you don't even like. So we're gonna teach you. He's gonna talk to us about navigating through that. I got so many comments from him being on the show with us the last time. I just absolutely had to have him back. But because of the events in Kentucky last week, I just felt it was more important for us to address some of those things. But I'm so excited tomorrow night. Sunday night. 8 p.m. You want to be there and experience Sunday evening masterclass with Dr. Charlette.
Here on the New Thought Media Network, 8 o'clock Eastern and 6 o'clock Mountain Time, here on the New Thought Media Network. We have a minute left. So
Ooh.
any parting thoughts here?
I just want to wish all of our listeners, I want to ditto what you said about, how important this New Thought Media Network is, because, even though we talk about the topics of the day, we do put a spiritual spin on the things that we say. We do not believe in condemnation. We don't believe in the hell and damnation. We believe that there is light at the end of every tunnel,
Yes.
and that love is the answer, that no matter how bad things get, the sun will come up tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow, come what may, it's going to be a better day. So you just stick with us, and we're going to continue to lift you up and share the light of God surrounding you, the love of God enfolding you, the power of God protecting you, and the presence of God will continue to watch over you. I love you, Michael. Diego, have an awesome Christmas.
Thank you
And
very much.
we'll be back together again on Sunday.
Yes, we will be. And a programming, thank you, Dr. Manning. We will talk to you on Sunday evening. Just a programming note here. Next week is Christmas Eve, so we will be playing a best of. Join Charlette and I on the 26th. We will be celebrating Kwanzaa together, and Dr. Manning will be explaining all the candle lighting that happens. So that will be on the 26th. But again, you have a wonderful network here. We are the functional family. So know that we are with you, that no matter what happens when you go visit the in-laws, the outlaws, the uplaws, the downlaws, know that we care about you here at the New Thought Media Network. All right. So for this evening, it's Pastor Michael Mangus on behalf of our producer, Diego, and also Dr. Manning. We wish you a wonderful, happy holiday.
conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.